Coming up on this edition of Southwest TV News.
SaskPower will be building, or there will be built, a combined cycle natural gas plant of some 350 megawatts.
Since the announcement last September of a new $12 million integrated healthcare facility for Leader, work has been taking place behind the scenes for the planning and design.
Meet Ron Giesbrick, a longtime resident of Swift Current who over the years has been an active volunteer with the Salvation Army.
As the temperatures heat up for another summer season, skin safety should be top of mind for all ages. Thanks for joining us here today. Following months of speculation, SaskPower has announced a major project for Swift Current. We have more in today's top story.
SaskPower will be building, or there will be built, a combined cycle natural gas plant of some 350 megawatts.
The long-awaited announcement was made on Friday by Saskatchewan's Premier Brad Wall in Swift Current City Council chambers. Swift Current made the final cut for the combined cycle natural gas facility project, after SaskPower considered this southwest location over 18 other competing sites in the province. Following ongoing discussions with local municipal leaders and public open houses over the past number of years.
Swift Current has great access to the existing transmission line. The major line running east-west into Alberta runs right through Swift Current. We have a major gas transmission line here, which is very, very good. As the Premier indicated, we've also had lots of load growth in the west and southwest part of the province. Lots of oil and gas here that wasn't there a few years ago, but the demand has really increased for electricity consumption.
The multi-million-dollar project will help SaskPower to meet the demands for more power across the province, while increasing its overall wind capacity.
A natural gas facility allows us to add more wind into the system. So by having a flexible option, we can actually add additional wind capacity beyond what we might otherwise have done. And we're looking at adding another approximately 400 megawatts of wind into the SaskPower grid by 2023-2024.
A project which will also benefit the community of Swift Current and surrounding area from an economic standpoint, with approximately 500 construction jobs and up to 25 permanent jobs once the facility is up and running.
This is a major, major project. The last one that was built like it was in North Battleford, and that was just under $700 million. This will be more than that. We don't want to actually give an estimate because it's a competitive process. We want to see where the numbers come in. But it's significantly more than that. So that's a massive investment into a Swift Current area.
You know, in the last 10 years, we've had $500 million in construction, numbers that we've never seen before. The population has grown for the first time in 60 years, so a project like this is just going to continue to help us in that and keep things rolling, so it's great.
The RFP process will begin for this multi-million-dollar project in the coming weeks, with a target of opening the combined cycle natural gas facility on this quarter section of land northwest of Swift Current by the fall of 2019.
I'm really enjoying it here. I always did like Swift Current. This is kiting paradise.
Imagine a destination where you can enjoy world-class dining and unique accommodations. Take a leisurely stroll through streets filled with rich history while browsing for that perfect gift. Buy fresh produce from the farmers market and enjoy a range of cultural events while stepping back in time to learn more about Canada's Old West. Your summer destination is awaiting you in Maple Creek. For event listings and all things Maple Creek, visit our website.
The future is here. Saskatchewan's fastest internet with unlimited usage and blazing speeds. Infinite. Watch for it in your neighborhood, only from SaskTel.
The Cypress Health Region has a number of capital projects on the go. And in this report, we bring you an update on the new Leader facility. Since the announcement last September of a new $12 million integrated healthcare facility for Leader, work has been taking place behind the scenes for the planning and design, bringing together the Western Seniors Home and the hospital. This conceptual design outlines the proposed look of the new integrated facility, which will bring together a number of healthcare and long-term care services all under one roof.
6 acute care beds, 2 trauma bays that have the ability to also support 24 hours of observation. And then we will have, of course, our primary health care clinic will be part of that mix as well, so that there will be exam rooms and some talk rooms for people who don't need physical exam but need to speak with a healthcare professional. And then our 32 long-term care beds, and our EMS staff will come into it with us as well, because we're going to put the ambulance bay, of course, there.
And as the process continues to hire a contractor and on-site work begins later this fall, the Cypress Health Region will need to move a number of long-term care residents out of the Western Seniors Home to a temporary long-term care wing in the current hospital. A process which will likely take place in September, following consideration of which long-term care residents are best candidates for the move.
Again, thinking about some of our residents need a wander guard system that alert the staff if they're leaving the building. Well, we don't have that at the hospital. So, of course, anyone who needs a wander guard, we wouldn't even consider moving them over to the hospital. People who may have depression or anxiety and struggle with change, those wouldn't be people. We would want to leave them in an environment that they're already comfortable with. So we've been thinking lots about, who might that be? What type of a resident might we be able to move? So again, just being very thoughtful about creating the least amount of disruption, finding people who, them and their families are comfortable with this.
The province is covering 80% of the cost of the new $12 million facility, with the community of Leader picking up the tab for the remaining 20% or $2.5 million. Construction on the new Leader Integrated Healthcare Facility is set to start later this year, with an opening target date of 2017. Another exciting season of Market Square returns to downtown Swift Current, featuring live entertainment, fresh garden produce, crafts, and other unique vendors. Market Square, every Saturday at the corner of Central and Chaplin. Proudly presented by the City of Swift Current and Standard Motors, along with Innovation Credit Union and Southwest TV News. Southwest TV News is pleased to partner with the Swift Current Salvation Army, Pharmasave, and JayDee AgTech in our ongoing series called Give for Good. In today's episode, we focus on one man's joy in giving back to the community.
I really do hope that as people are watching this video series and hearing other people's stories, they really will observe what's going on in their own lives, see how they are giving for good, look for further opportunities to give for good, and that they will experience all the joys that come from that.
I think that sometimes we get too settled in our own space, and if we're doing well in life, financially or whatever, we get very settled in that. So I think it's nice to be able to go out there and put yourself out there and help others.
When you get someone who real feels emotional over you doing your kindness or doing your act, it really feels good.
Meet Ron Giesbrick, a longtime resident of Swift Current who over the years has been an active volunteer with the Salvation Army. Not someone who seeks out the limelight, Ron prefers being in the background, helping people where he can. For him, it's the little things that can make the most impact.
Well, I'll tell you, it can go from a very, very assertive smile and good to see you, John. Hope you're having a good day, and you keep moving along. Takes 10 seconds. That might make a difference to that fella, and you might see somebody that needs a whole lot more time than that to make a difference. And I think you have to sense the need. If you sense a deep need to make yourself available, you will have time.
Now retired, Ron enjoyed his years in business here in Swift Current. First as the owner of a Western shop, then later the owner of the Fast Gas service station. It was his time at Fast Gas where he found the most satisfaction in helping those in need. Ron recalls the story of a homeless man named Guy who showed up at his shop one day.
And Guy came by my place in the dead of winter, probably maybe in about 2007, 2008. And he was just another one of the fellows that would come through, and he was from nowhere and really going nowhere, but he camped along the highway by the creek. He wouldn't tell me where. And so he would come by every few days or sometimes every day, and I would bring him in the garage and give him coffee and give him something to eat. And I kind of got to know Guy a little, and we built a little relationship and became friends in a way, I guess you could say. Yeah, and just as maybe within a week he disappeared, and that's how those fellows are. They come and they go, and there's really no rhyme or reason for it. And here, I believe it was last summer, Guy lands up coming into the Salvation Army, where I spent a fair amount of time. And he walks into the coffee room, and it took me a minute or two to figure out who he was. And finally, I said, Guy, is that you? And he said, yeah, Ron, that's me. So we had a real good little reunion there, him and I, after maybe not seeing each other for, maybe 5 years or so. And so it was pretty rewarding to be able to give him a little hand again and put him on his way. And he was pretty encouraged, and so that was just one of those stories that came into my life that really sort of made an impression on me, that people can disappear and all of a sudden they can be right there again, eh? But I sense a deeper purpose in helping folks who, you know, are finding life a tough journey and maybe not a lot of attention given to them, and many times live a rough and tumble, tough life.
Ron says stopping the need to judge others and accepting them for who they are is perhaps the single biggest act of giving a person can do.
The whole aspect of judging others when you see them doing foolish things that are going to hurt themselves, maybe hurt others, you have to set that aside if you're going to help them. Because if you're going to judge them and then try to help them, you likely won't help them, because then you tend to criticize their problem. If you want to help somebody, you have to accept them just the way they are. Because if you do that, they will open up to you. At least there's an opportunity they will open to you. If you show any sense of judgment towards people that you know have made some foolish choices, if you show judgment, your opportunity to have positive input becomes very close to zero. And just look to what you can do to take the pressure off of them that it's going to be okay. Hope is sort of the bottom line to a lot of stuff. With hope, you keep moving ahead. No matter how slowly, you will still move ahead with hope. But without hope, it's very difficult to move ahead, and it doesn't take much to knock you down. So I think building hope in other people's lives is very, very, very critical. If you just leave someone hanging in a very discouraged state and you don't plant some type of seed that creates hope, you've really missed the mark, I think.
Through his motivation and discipline, Ron shows us that when we live in the present moment, the world becomes more vibrant and clear, full of possibilities, and making a difference by giving for good.
Protecting yourself from the sun's burning UV rays is an ongoing message from the Canadian Cancer Society. And that message becomes even more important as we head into summer. As the temperatures heat up for another summer season, skin safety should be top of mind for all ages. Whether you're out for a leisurely walk or a day at the beach, protecting yourself from the sun is as easy as applying sunscreen, wearing a hat, and seeking shade. As early prevention can mean a world of difference in the long run.
Skin cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer in Saskatchewan currently, but it is also largely preventable. And so that's one reason why we really want to pay attention this summer to those sun safety tips.
You're also reminded that the sun's UV rays can damage your skin even on a cooler day. Therefore, practicing sun safety should be a daily routine.
And there's a really awesome tool that you can check each day, and it's called the UV index. So you can check it online, you can check it on various apps, on your cell phone even. So the UV index is a number between 1 and 11, and it'll give you a rating of the strength of the UV rays that day. So any time that there is a UV index of 3 or higher, then that's when we suggest that you start practicing that sun safety.
The Canadian Cancer Society suggests using a broad-spectrum sunscreen with an SPF factor of 30 or higher, reapplying it often, wearing a wide-brimmed hat, and wear sunglasses with UV protection, as your eyes can also experience sun damage or even melanoma.
The future is here. Saskatchewan's fastest internet with unlimited usage and blazing speeds. Infinite. Watch for it in your neighborhood, only from SaskTel.
Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at MyLocalTV.ca. And be sure to follow us on a range of social media. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.